Om Bhurбhuvassuham Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayantam. So Saram everyone, today we are going to speak about very subtle and really deep question, and that is Sathya Sai philosophy of our beloved Swami and Advaita Vedanta. Actually, we have three main branches in Vedic philosophy, which is Advaita Vedanta. Normally we say that the founder is Adi Shankaracharya. Actually, he was not founder, because Advaita Vedanta existed, centuries before Adi Shankaracharya, and we have Upanishads, we have Avadutta Gita, Ashtavakra Samhita, actually Brahma Sutra, all that more ancient scriptures with a perfect Advaita Vedanta philosophy. But at the same time, we say that the master who complete the structure of this philosophical system was exactly Adi Shankaracharya, but let us be careful not to say that he created this philosophy. The second branch, the second school actually normally we say is Vishishta Advaita Vedanta, and the founder is Ramanuja Acharya, and then Dvaita Vedanta, which is connected to Madhavacharya. Well, all these three great Vedic philosophers and mystics, that's even more important for us at the moment, actually were not founders of these schools, but better to say they just complete this philosophical structure of these three kinds of Vedic philosophy: Advaita Vedanta, Vishishta Advaita Vedanta, and Dvaita Vedanta. Actually, if we mention about Madhavacharya, actually, of course, we know that philosophy of Dvaita or duality existed, actually thousands of years before Madhavacharya. So, but just very special way how he completed this job of structuring this philosophical system based on Vaishnava tradition mostly. So that, of course, was his job. Madhavacharya's. But anyway, today we are going to speak. We are actually already speaking about Advaita or non-duality, which is very famous philosophical system in the West. There are many reasons why I feel modern people really attracted pretty much to the Advaita Vedanta philosophy, and mostly because of all that so-called organized religions, they obviously in a huge crisis. In all organized religions, all religious institutions, they base on duality. So it means God is somewhere, above, most probably, and we are the people, we are just here. And then we need, maybe, a big question, we need organized religion, we need, certain structures, certain institutions to connect us with God. And this picture of existence actually in a huge crisis, as you can know and understand. And in this very uneasy intellectual and spiritual situation, of course, Advaita Vedanta is something which is really supplying us with so many solutions. I mean to say, first of all, the big question is God the person? Okay, a person, that person. Can we speak about personality? Maybe yes. but maybe not, because actually, according to the Advaitic philosophy, God is Brahman. It's impersonal, absolute consciousness, and you can't speak actually with the Brahman. You can experience Brahman, because Brahman, it's actually your own true nature. That's actually your highest reality. If you start to speak with the Brahman, then immediately the question is, who are you to speak with your own highest level of consciousness? Okay, maybe you consider yourself as a personality, personal consciousness, which is somehow communicating with the absolute reality, but this is just kind of confusion anyway. So Brahman is not person, it's absolute reality. You can't really speak with the Brahman, and you can't receive, let us say, message or revelation from Brahman, but you can experience Brahman as absolute divine essence of your consciousness. So that's the difference. And of course, more people grow, and actually it may sound slightly strange, but I think that globally humanity is growing spiritually. You can be easily not agree with this, because we have so many social and political struggle all over the world right now, but I think that we are really growing, and because we are growing, more and more people actually start to reject this limiting belief system that, okay guys, like you are citizens of certain countries, you are male or female, you belong to certain countries, political systems, religions, institutions, blah blah blah. But really, people meditate more. Actually, yeah, we are living in an age when more and more people at least try to meditate. When people meditate more and more, naturally they experience certain levels of inner space. Okay, the first very simple experience is just relaxation. For most of the modern people, relaxation is something impossible, yeah? But really, relaxation is very important. And relaxation, it has two major aspects, actually much more. But, okay, the physical relaxation, just your muscles, your physical body. And then your emotional, and again, the third one, your thoughts, your images which you carry in your mind. And relaxation must be not only physical, but of course on the level of your emotions and mind as well. So it means three levels finally. So, and that's the very first step. But then people experience, divine vibrations, some mystical experiences, out-of-body experiences, and then they are able to understand that actually the journey is not outside, not to the God who is somewhere above. And let us say that quite many scriptures like Bible and many Hindu scriptures, they point outside. They point outside quite strongly. But there are teachings, different types of Vedanta. First of all, of course, we're speaking about Advaita Vedanta or non-dual Vedanta, and of course Buddhist teaching as well, and some drops of Jesus teaching as well, because mostly Jesus, of course, spoke about God outside, but sometimes he spoke about, God in our heart. So we have a message about inner reality of God, and that was, of course, main point for Sathya Sai teaching, as you know. Of course, when you go through his divine discourses or his Vahini books, you see that all types of philosophy he presents, because different devotees, they are ready to embrace and experience different levels of philosophy. That's the greatness of Sathya Sai. But finally, he always, reminding us about the inner absolute reality of divine consciousness. And Of course, in some of my previous videos, and I hope in the future to discuss this topic as well. What is the connection between this bhakti or devotion to God, which includes actually God who is somehow outside of us? Yeah, because duality, it's like two entities, whereas the human beings and God, who is somewhere outside, and we experience this devotion, but at the same time, in a depths of meditation, there is no any duality, and we experience God as light, consciousness, bliss, which is in our spiritual heart. And in the end of this video, maybe one of the most important ideas, very practical ideas, I hope, this is actual experience. I was Sathya Sai translator for a number of years for the Russian-speaking groups. It was back in the 90s. So, and now I published 3 books, planning to publish more books with my personal memories about Swami. And interview. This is so-called interview. It means personal meetings, conversations with the Sathya Sai in his room. That was interview. Sometimes people, what kind of topics actually was there? Sometimes people could ask blessings for just health, family, whatever, new projects. But philosophical, spiritual questions also played a very important role in all that, discussions in his room. And what is the most important? The most important is not just to know, but to experience. Because if you read whatever, dozens and dozens of scriptures, or maybe hundreds of scriptures, and you can become easily professor of whatever religious philosophy, and so what? Because illusion of the mind is that if you know something, your mind starts to produce this illusion, which is, means you have it, but that's mistake, that's confusion. Suppose you know that Lord God actually, the address, location is in your spiritual heart. Suppose you know from Sathya Sai's divine discourses. But if you know this, it doesn't mean that you experience this presence. You may know many things, but it doesn't mean that you have experience. Suppose you know how to become rich. Doesn't mean that you are able to become. Suppose you know how to, connect with all your relatives, but maybe you can't manage it. To know and to be, two separate kind of things. First, of course, you have to know, but then you have to do many things, actually practice, to achieve this. Hard work must be behind any achievement. You can speak about family, social, financial, material, whatever, art, science, whatever, political achievements. You have to work hard. But in the field of spiritual, religious practice, you have to do something. And the most subtle, the greatest action is actually meditation. And a meditation is actually action. But the most subtle action, and this subtle action may lead you to actual experience of this Brahman, or absolute consciousness, which is your true nature. And I remember how Sathya Sai, our beloved Swami, was always emphasizing, do not, blah, blah, blah about philosophy and spirituality. Of course, he never say blah, blah, that's my language. But his point was practice. Meditate on holy names of Lord God. Not just repeat, but contemplate these holy names. It can be Krishna, it can be Jesus, it can be Allah. That doesn't matter. Of course, our favorite name is Sathya Sai. You meditate on these sacred, divine names of the Lord, and then step by step you can experience this presence in your heart. And this is a crucial question. Do you have experience? And how to experience this absolute consciousness? God bless all of us. Sairam. See you next time. Of course, invite you to visit my website, dubyansky.com. You can see quite a lot of materials there, articles about different branches of yoga, Kriya Yoga meditation as well, so because I'm a Kriya Yoga master and Kriya Yoga practitioner for years, and of course my books with the memories about our beloved Swami. You can find it on my website as well, dubyansky.com. So, Sairam, see you next time.
Om Bhurбhuvassuham Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayantam